The Supreme Court is a good example of where we have the norm used to be that the court, if it was making a controversial decision, especially, it would lay out its reasons. A Supreme Court opinion was critically important because of the way the court arrived at its conclusion.
Right, and it describes it and has it in writing so we can all learn from that in law school and otherwise.
But now the court is using the so-called shadow docket. It's making controversial decisions, but it's not explaining them. And if you don't explain your controversial decisions, then you're leaving the public completely on the public's own. I mean, you can come up with conspiracy theories galore.
Right. And it's the same confusion, uncertainty,
Exactly.
worry.
When you get to
fear.
the stage of confusion and uncertainty and worry, and you don't know why things are being done,
Or that they're being done, it feels
that's when conspiracy theories flower.
thrive. Yeah, flower.
John Roberts, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, one of his major responsibilities is to assure the public that the court is thinking, that it has a logic, that it has some justification. Because the Supreme Court has no army, it has no ability to fund anything.
It has reason. It has premises and conclusions, and we get to watch it.
That's all it has. And so for this week, it had a whole variety of shadow docket decisions that backed up, things that the administration was doing with no reason.
Remind us when you were at the hearing for John Roberts. What was that like?
Well, I did testify, and I testified against him.
Senator, what's come out so far is this man is obviously a nice fellow. People like him. He's a very, very bright, if not brilliant, jurist and an extremely thoughtful lawyer. But he has certain ideological predispositions. He has values. Those values are way to the right of the mainstream in America. I don't think there's any question about it. And so it is up to all of you to decide whether you want to put somebody in as Chief Justice who's that far to the right. I think it's as simple and direct as that.
It had no effect whatsoever.
Well, I mean, I think you said your piece. That's the point of a hearing. You were there and other people were there.
That's the point of the hearing. But it's the Roberts Court will go down in history, I think, as one of the weakest, if not worst, Supreme Courts. Because the Supreme Court, I used to argue before the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court understood, again, I don't want to sound like I'm a typical old fart who just is
You're an atypical old fart.
I'm an atypical old fart.
I've always told you that.
That's such a nice thing for you to say. Thank you. So as an atypical old fart, I remember the Supreme Court being a court that overall understood its role to protect the minority from majoritarianism. It understood its role in the system of power to guard people that didn't have power. And now the Supreme Court is just the opposite. Now the Supreme Court seems to believe that it is constitutionally obligated to interpret statutes and the Constitution in ways that support power.